Hi, this is Jim over at Cherry. Today's video, we're going to take a look at some of the other menu options that are available from the submenu in the provider profile screen. We've covered a few of those in the past videos, so I want to take a look at today and look at a couple more of the options that are in there for you to view, and some of those you can go ahead and update and make changes to. So let's go ahead and take a look. We're going to go ahead and log in as our test provider is Black Dirt. You would log in with your own credentials into the system. And from the main menu drop down, you would navigate to the home screen and then to provider profile, and then the sub menu on the upper right hand corner. And today we're going to start with contact list. So the contact list screen is basically folks in your organization that Cherry Logistics may want to contact for specific information. So we have the information, correct information for the correct individuals to get that information for, whether it be accounting questions or operations questions or out in the field questions. So we can have those folks identified with their contact information, so we can get that information in the most effective manner. Excuse me. So you may have some records here that you've already created that you can navigate through. Again, it has a quick search feature to search all the different criteria within the columns. It has the sorting headers along each column as the multiple rows indicator and the page numbers. So just to add a new contact person to that records list, you would just add contact button here. Go ahead and start filling in the information into the individual fields. And then once you start having that information filled in and updated, you can just go ahead. The save button will be highlighted there. You can just go ahead and press save, and then that information will be updated within the system. Once it's all in there, it'll be added to these existing records that you have already. Or you can begin to build your contact list records. Once the records are here, each one will have its own menu contacts item. You can go ahead and click on it. You can either delete that record, or you can go ahead and edit that information by selecting edit, type in or click on the edit button, and then you can begin to edit those fields. If you make any changes, again, the save button will be highlighted here, and you can save those changes and update those into the system. So that's the contact screen to keep updated with your all the contact individuals for your organization. The other screen we're going to take a look at today is the contracts page. So this contract page will have all your contracts for all your customer locations that you had serviced in the past or currently service for Cherry Logistics, so that you can view and see that information. There's a lot of good information on this screen. It's very similar to the other records screens that we've had in the past, with the column headers, the search field here, and the additional rows to see multiple rows and multiple pages. In addition to that, it also has the multiple seasons, so you can drill down specific to lot sweeping contracts, electrical contracts if you have them, construction, that type of thing. So again, it'll make that list shorter and more specific to what you're looking for to filter on. There's also advanced filters that you can filter the information here to again drill down to get that information. So if we just wanted to see, for instance, just the ADMO customer locations, we can just type in ADMO in the search field. It will begin to find it identified here. Go ahead and apply that filter, and now we're just looking at the 4 records for the ADMO customer locations. It's actually the same location, just different types of contracts. This cloud area here will contain your filter that you had selected. So we had selected the ADMO customer range. So if we want to get rid of that filter, we can just hit this blue X, and then that'll expose all the different records, eliminating that filter. Or we can click on remove filter. If we wanted to add another filter to it, say we wanted to just add the ADMO customer for specific categories, say for snow, we would just select that, again apply that filter. Now we would just see from that search criteria just the ADMO location that had a snow contract. And again, here's our filters that we had selected. If we want to eliminate any of those filters one at a time, we can just hit the blue X, and now we see all the ADMO customers. That's the only filter that we had selected. Or if we want to see all of them, we can go ahead and click on the blue X, or just go ahead and remove filter. But we have all the different search criteria here that you can use to identify and drill down through that list of contracts to make that navigation a little bit easier for you. So within the contract records, we have the customer's name, we have the location ID for that specific location, how many SKUs are involved in that contract. SKUs are just a number of services. So if it's, let's say it's snow, there could be 4 services between the plowing and sidewalks and ice control. We have the start date for that contract, and we'll have the end date for that contract. So again, you can see that some of these are ongoing current contracts, and some have already expired for whatever reason. And you'll see the last time that contract information was updated on, the date and the time, and who was updated by at Cherry Logistics. And then each of these menu items, each of these records rather, will have their own individual record item for additional options for you to see the information within those contracts. So let's take a look at just the lot sweeping here for this Admo location 9160. Go ahead and view that, and now we see the specific information for that contract. We see that the customer is Admo Incorporated. We see the location ID. We see the customer's address for that location. The type of contract category it is, lot sweeping. If it was some type of quick pay terms associated with this contract, this would be selected. If there was any discount terms, that information would be reflected in this field here. And if there was any service notes that can't be serviced on the weekend or anything like that, they would be listed here for that particular location contract information. We see the payment terms, 45 days in this case, and we see the billing type. It's a per service as opposed to a seasonal or maybe even a per event type of situation for a snow service. And here we have the SKUs and pricing. So this particular one only has one SKU, which is all-in-one lot sweep and porter. It's done 3 times a week. The contract started on 4/1. It'll terminate on 10/1 naturally. And the cost associated with it is you get per service $10 for every service. And currently the status of this contract is active. So again, by looking into this contract screen and viewing and drilling down into these specific contracts, you can see the specific information for your contracts for your customer locations that you service for Cherry. So you can arrow back and get back to the main contract screen to take a look at any additional information you want to see there. But all your pertinent contract information will be listed on this contracts screen. I wanted to cover one more category here, which is incident history on this video. We're going to try to do this pretty quick. So this is if there's any accidents or incidents that happen on the customer's locations from your company, then they can be recorded here. If it's a new incident that you can want to add, that incident can be either added in the field on our mobile app, or it can be added through the web portal here by just clicking on Add Incident. By clicking on the Add Incident, it will bring up a blank template. You can just type in the customer information. We'll go ahead and select that Admo information again, and we'll check the location information. Once we start doing that, now the address starts to populate in here. We have Black Dirt as the company that services that. We can select the date of the incident. We can put in who was reported by. Fill in that field. Any notes that we want to put in there. Weather condition, lot conditions, conditions of the property, that type of thing. We want to be able to identify, was there any bodily injury associated with that incident, yes or no, and was there any property damage associated with that incident, yes or no. So once we have that those fields filled out, again, that Save button will be highlighted for us to save that information. And then we can go ahead and save it, and then it'll become part of the records here. So in these records line items, again, we have the advanced search filter. So if we search on anything, again, it'll be highlighted in the cloud for the search filter to let us know that it's been activated. It'll just highlight those records. We can remove that filter to see everything. We can hide the search to get a better area view of the screen. If it did go, we'd have the additional rows. If it went longer than that, that type of thing. The other feature here is the time zone feature. If you do have customers outside your current time zone where your company is, you can click on customer time zone and it'll bring up the date and time for that specific time zone. This little caret here drop down lets us know that there's a little bit more information associated with this record here, and that's just who it was reported by Jason. But we also have the menu here to view the details of this specific record, and it'll give us the information within that record that was filled out. The customer information, who reported it by, any notes associated with it, any type of injuries or property damage associated with that. In a open incident report, you will be allowed to add and update notes as more information becomes available in this field here. But because this record or that particular incident is in a closed status, nothing can be updated once it's been closed out. But if it was in an open status, you'd still be able to add notes to that information for that record. So that's the incident history for your locations if that does take place, were to fill out that information. And also the contracts information we covered and the contact list from the provider main menu screen. So again, a lot of information from that provider profile. We've covered a few of those in some of the other videos. We'll continue to go down the list here in the future videos. But in the meantime, take a look at those. Hopefully you find this information useful to fill out and view those screens. And if you have any questions, please call us over here at Cherry. And in the meantime, we will see you on the next video. Thanks.